Hello guys, welcome to Global Happenings. Today we have a trending news here for you. And the headline of the news reads, Federal government complain Nigerians' refusal to be evacuated from abroad. But before we continue with details of the news and further analysis, we'd like to encourage you to please subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button and also on the bell icon so that you get notification anytime we publish videos on YouTube. All right, and let's look at the news in detail. The federal government says only few Nigerians staying abroad have so far indicated interest to be evacuated because of the coronavirus pandemic. Godfrey Onyema, Minister of Foreign Affairs, however, said the government is still waiting final responses from various embassies on those willing to be brought back to Nigeria. The government has, through the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission (NIDcom), asked citizens overseas who are willing to be evacuated to inform the foreign missions. But the cost of such trip back to the country will be borne by each individual, according to Abike Dabiri Erewa, who is the chairman of NIDcom. At the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 briefing in Abuja on Monday, Onyema said the embassies have been asked to forward the number of those who have indicated interest. According to him, he says, we sent the letters to the embassies last week, but we have not gotten many persons that want to return now. He said, there are just few, not many, but we are still waiting to confirm their actual number. The minister, however, said experts had recommended against most travels to reduce the risk of contracting COVID-19. But if there are those that want to come back, we will do everything within our means to bring them back, he said. So we are still waiting to confirm the entire number in the end. We will then work out the logistics on how to bring them back. And that's the news. And this news is such a funny news. And it's an update to one of the news that we presented some 2 days ago, where the federal government were demanding to know those who really want to come back home, that if they really want to do that via the office of the chairman of NIDcom, BK Dabiri, that they are going to be assisted, but then they should know that the costs will be borne by them. They will be the one to pay their flight tickets and the likes. And, based on the level of coronavirus in most European countries, the likes of Spain, the likes of Italy, the likes of, USA, it's not a European country, but USA also, UK, China, Japan, Thailand, Philippines, and the likes. My expectations were really high that in these Asian countries and European countries, most Nigerians will be willing to come back home because, hey, it's like we have a cure down here in Nigeria and the spread of the virus is not as expected. But instead of those Nigerians coming back home, they say it's better to die abroad than to come and die in Nigeria. It's really, really funny. If you go to most of the videos that I've seen fairly recently during this period of COVID-19 trending, there are certain persons that I thought with this they will indicate interest and the whole family will come back. I've seen cases of Nigerians crying and wailing, calling on big men of God in Nigeria, the likes of Yahilome, the likes of Bishop David Oyedepo, the likes of Adeboye, and Suleiman, to please pray that God should heal the land. We are scared over here. And my expectation was that when the federal government said, we are going to back you guys up, let's take you back to Nigeria, they will be running, running on their knees to get out of wherever they are. But hey, they are not willing to come back. They prefer to be there in that country despite the widespread of this pandemic. Now, the big question, for me, it's really serious, Now, the big question is, why will a Nigerian refuse coming back to his father's land? And a lot of things are playing in my mind right now. Don't forget that most of these guys that are staying abroad, most of them are Igbo guys. And most of them have been talking about Nigeria as a zoo. And I'm just thinking, is it that they have made up their mind that instead of coming back to pass through the rigorous daily living of a Nigerian man, they better die where they are? Because let the truth be told, I think this country, we need to make up our mind to make this country so comfortable that every Nigerian that is living in diaspora will be willing to come back home and stay. Now, one of the things I really crave for, which I believe a lot of people love, is when you're going back to a city, since you're already used to city life, you can just take a break and go back to your village where you will enjoy calmness. Cars, you won't hear noise of cars and noise of economic activities and the likes. You just go there, enjoy the fruits and all of that. That's one of the desires of most people. But hey, it's not possible again in Nigeria. Before you know, you hear the case of hoodlums, bandits, Boko boys, Fulani headsmen, all manner of terrible things. Most people are willing to come back and, carry out some agricultural activity in a commercial way. But it's not possible because the environment is not even secured. You can make do with something like a road, and the road is rough, but just if I go on hillocks, I think I'm okay. If I go on a jeep, it's going to be okay. I won't really suffer, feel the pains of my tire getting destroyed or something, and all of that. But right now, it's not even possible. Security-wise, we are nowhere to be found. I won't stop talking about this. Please forgive me if you don't like me mentioning it. The case of the Victory chat security operative have recorded in their fight against Boko Haram. It was just one day fight, and they were able to eradicate Boko Haram to the point that Nigerian soldiers were celebrating them. And I just sat back and said, hey, this country, if God doesn't have mercy on us, we are finished. This is the same thing that even the person who is the chief of staff, who is not the chief of staff, the chief of army staff, told Nigerians that the fight against Boko Haram is spiritual. Two of them are general. The person leading the army of Chad is a general. The one leading the army of Nigeria is a general. But he said it is a spiritual fight. And look at Chad. Population-wise, those guys cannot compare themselves with Nigeria. But they fought Boko Haram, Boko boys, and also to a point that even Shekau had to come out and confess and say, please leave my people alone. If this fight you guys are initiating is not from Allah, leave our people alone. If you people continue to fight us, he is now saying Allah will help them. What we have never heard them confess about Nigeria. I could still remember when the president visited one of the northeastern states, and immediately he departed. Information have it that it was not information, it's not fake news, it's not anything, but there were information on social media and also on this websites that immediately Shekau and his boys invaded the city. I think was it Bauchi also or Borno? They invaded that area immediately and gave a warning to our president that he should not dare step his feet again in that state. That state has been taken over by insurgents. Hey, I kept quiet. It was a challenge that I thought that a former general will wake up and say it can't happen and will get everything required to fight them. But everybody was just so quiet. And that's why when Imam of Peace came out and said that there's something about this insurgency in Nigeria, because he could still remember when he wanted to talk against it, instead of, as he was talking against them, the government of the day, they were talking against him. And he was like, hey, I'm trying to see how I can use my influence in the media to fight against these guys for you people, but you guys are now fighting against me. What's all of this about? Is there some secret that I do not have an idea about? Now, so with all of the cases of insecurity, cases of poor roads, cases of lack of electricity, cases of poor pipe bomb water, we do not even have it here in the country. Most of these guys are willing, no jobs. Yeah, that one is really serious. Every Nigerian you are seeing today is striving to earn a living. Government they'll give job opportunities. Before you know, the politicians will take it over from the common man. The common man cannot even secure a good job. You must know one big politician that will help you to secure a job. Why? Because so many educated persons are pursuing very few jobs. And unfortunately, sometimes it seems the government is not even doing anything about it. I could still remember where the Chinese will come with their company down to Nigeria to carry out a contract, and they will even come with common people who are working with them there. could still remember a case where they came to carry out a contract here in Nigeria, and cement people were coming from there. I don't know how they normally call these people. That's people who do common jobs, in a contract site. They had to bring their people, and the government could not stop them and hold them and say, no, it can't happen. If you guys will bring your professional to help you out here, the people who are going to be working with you guys must be Nigerians. At least 80% of labor, yeah, that's the word, laborers who's going to be working with you guys must be Nigerians. But nothing like that was said. So anytime people have an opportunity of getting to Europe, whether by the right means or by crooks, they get into United States of America, get into Italy, get into all the European countries, get into Asia, China, Japan, and the likes, or maybe American, South American, North American, they refuse, no matter the war that is brewing there. Imagine what happened in South Africa. Expectation was that, hey, all those guys are going to come back. Some of them who came back are now going back again to South Africa. And I'm like, wow, does it mean that Nigeria is so uncomfortable? Of course, yes, Nigeria is not that kind of place. I think this should make them have a rethink. Some of the things that have happened thus far, if truly you are empathic enough as a leader, whether you are a governor, whether you are a president, whether you are a local government chairman, in whatever position that you are currently occupying, and seeing the way Nigerians are being cited, whether abroad or home, it should make you have a rethink to call off every form of your corruptible act. You call it off and say, no, I can't continue like this. This country has been frustrated by this kind of attitude. I can't continue like this, because if we continue like every opportunity, Nigerians will be leaving. Now, like the case of United States of America, when they were calling for nurses to come over to United States and work, during this period, that they needed some medical personnel in their during this period of pandemic. Immediately you put calls to any of your brothers and sisters who study nurse, they are in a hurry anyhow. Some of them will call me and say, please, I want to pray help me pray, because I want to get this thing. I want to go to United States. I said, during this period where people are dying of this pandemic, he said, my brother, anyhow, when I go there, I will survive. I know that God will keep me there. Just a proof that people are overly tired of what is going on in the country. Look at Nigerians are not willing to come back. They prefer to stay there. Very few of them are willing to come back, because it's better to stay in that place and have your peace than to come to a place where tomorrow you are not even sure of what will happen. All the same, I'll leave it to you guys. What do you think about the attitude of Nigerians, despite the fact that federal government are ready to even help them come?